Hello friends, it's Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. I'm very excited for today's video, and I know a lot of you guys are excited as well. Today, we're going to be installing a DIY heat pump air conditioner. It's also called a mini split onto my tiny home on wheels, my box truck. And so for this build out, I went with the Mr. Cool DIY series. So that means you don't have to hire an air conditioning technician to install it. You don't need any special tools or skills. There's no vacuum pump required, no micron gauge, no refrigerant hoses. You don't have to add in your refrigerant. You just screw the copper lines into the unit and you're done. I didn't buy this unit on Amazon. So I purchased this mini split from shopsolarkits.com. And the reason I did that is because they have a really good customer support and warranty service. Again, you can call and get someone on the phone. If you guys have ever shopped on Amazon before and tried to get support, good luck. You might get a chat from some representative overseas that doesn't really know what you're buying or what's going on. So let's go ahead and dive right into the install. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get this air conditioning running and bring some cooling to my box truck. So here is going to be the location of the mini split, the outdoor unit. On the left, this is my gray tank. And then just to the right of that will be the outdoor unit. We're going to run a unistrut channel along the top, the bottom of my box, and we'll hang all thread from that to support the outdoor unit. So we're going to be drilling ultimately through these steel I-beams. And so here's our little workstation right here. We got the strut channel right here. We're going to be using a bandsaw to cut through it. And then everything today is powered by the Blue Eddy Apex 300. It's been a very nice power station. It's a workhorse. Smooth like butter. I'll tell you, that's definitely a better experience than cutting with a jigsaw. And here's what we came up with. For the underside, we're gonna have two of these strut rails, one here. We're gonna have them spaced 16 inches apart. We're using the Bosch heavy duty 120 volt drill. I do like a cordless drill. I love my Makitas and it would do the job, but when it comes down to it, when you want power and torque, nothing beats a plug-in drill. So this is gonna be the tool for today. Wow. So we got the holes drilled out through the I-beam. I have the strut just kind of clamped in place, holding it steady. Initially, we were gonna do 3/8 hardware, but we decided 1/4 inch would be sufficient, would be definitely strong enough. We're gonna drop a bolt down in from the top, and then we're gonna use, I guess, 2 washers on the bottom, because sometimes these washers are pretty thin and so they'll flex if you when you tighten them down really tight. So we're going to use 2 fender washers, 1 locking washer, and then the nut. And the strut channel is in place. Nuts and bolts and washers, nuts and bolts and washers. So now the next move is we're gonna cut this all thread right here. This is 3/8 all thread, and this is the piece that will hang down and then pull the lower piece of unistrut up and sandwich the mini split right in the middle. is. Okay, and so here's the mini split just resting in place. We have it just sitting up on a stack of plywood to kind of get it up close to its final resting place. A piece of strut channel on the bottom, and then on top of the strut channel we're going to use these rubber feet that came with the mini split, and then we have some 1/4-inch hardware to lock everything into place. And then we'll go like this. And here's the AC. We got the AC mounted to the strut, 1/4-inch hardware, rubber foot in between. And then out front we have this 3/8 all thread mounted to the strut, and that goes all the way up here into the strut on top. Nuts and bolts on top. I got these anti-vibration pads on Amazon. So one's gonna go right here in the front of the unit. And so when we suck it up, it'll smush that pad up against this upper I-beam, and that should help reduce any type of vibration. And here we are wrapping up day one. Installation of the outdoor unit, the condenser of the mini split. Gray tank's gonna go right over to the left. I still need to cut off this all thread on the bottom, flush to the bottom of the strut, but I measured it with the tape measure, and even though it doesn't look very far from the ground, I actually have 11 inches of clearance from the ground to the bottom of the strut. And I did some measuring on the vehicle, and the lowest point on the vehicle up here, these bars are 9 inches. And additionally over here, this exhaust pipe, the bottom of this pipe is 9 inches off the ground. So that means my mini split is higher off the ground than the lowest parts of my vehicle. So that should be good, as long as my vehicle clears a rock or a tree or whatever in the front section, then I don't have to worry about it hitting the mini split. The other nice thing is that once the gray tank is mounted, it'll it'll kind of block this side of the cooling fins, so it'll help prevent mud and water and stuff from getting splashed up in there. And then on my tire, I need to get a new mud flap. This one's clearly broken, so I'll order a new mud flap, and that'll come down and also just prevent water from splashing up onto the mini split. But overall, I'm happy with it. So Nomad Dad's gonna come back tomorrow, and he's gonna help me out again. We're gonna tackle the indoor unit. That should be a lot easier. Mount the indoor unit up on the wall, and then we got to run the copper lines, drill a hole through the front of the cab, down and back, and connect it to the outdoor unit. So it's all good. Happy with the progress today. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Hello friends, we're back at it for day 2 on the air conditioner install. Nomad Dad came back to lend a hand again. I do appreciate his help. Let me show you guys what we're working with. First, let me show you the equipment. So here's the indoor portion of the unit, the Mr. Cool. It is currently sitting upside down. A bunch of little installation accessories that it came with. Pretty large remote, but I'll be using my smartphone for the most part. USB controller. If you want to hook it into Alexa or Google Assistant, you can do that. But here's what we got going on. So I built this little back plate, and so we're going to be mounting the air conditioner onto this 1/2-inch plywood back plate. And they do give you a template, which is super nice. So here's a template of what the back of the air conditioner is going to look like. And so that little back plate that I made, I'm going to screw it down onto these standoffs here. So I used some 2x2 and just made some standoffs to bump it out 6 inches from the wall. That's just going to help bring it out, get some better airflow up top as it's pulling in the return air from the room. So this wood board right here is going to mount onto those standoffs, and then the split will mount onto the wood board. And so what we're doing right now though is we're going to drill the hole for the refrigerant lines, the drain line, and the electrical connection. So on this template they give you a nice little indication of where you should drill your hole, and that's going to be for this guy. They give you this cylinder which goes through the wall. It goes all the way from inside to the exterior, and then once we're out on the exterior of the box truck, I do have a line set cover that's going to go on and then run all those things down along the box, so it'll trim it up nicely. But what we need to do now is drill out this 3.5-inch hole. And so I have a hole saw here. Nomad Dad brought a hole saw. That's okay. And so that's going to fit just perfect. There it is. Look at that. That's a nice hole. So we got the hole cut with the 3.5-inch hole saw. Now this air conditioning kit comes with this awesome little sleeve. And so the idea with this is you push it in, and then we'll send our refrigerant lines, our drain line, and our power line all through this one pipe. So here you can see right there, that's the hole we drilled. Got the little piece sticking through it. So I'm going to use some power grab around the edge of that flange to hold it in place. And then that whole assembly is getting another cover over the top of it. So I'm not worried about waterproofing at this stage. Once that flange is power grabbed down into place, then I'll go over the outside with some Dicor non-leveling lap sealant, and then there's a whole nother cover that snaps over, and that's also going to get sealed. So we'll have like double, triple waterproof protection. I think it's strong enough. We have the birch standoff mounted. We have the 3.5-inch hole drilled with the little trim ring power grabbed into place. And then in the center there, we have the metal mounting bracket for the indoor unit. The next step is we'll be able to actually hang the indoor unit. And so what we'll have to do is uncoil this power cable, cut through this, uncoil that, and then these pieces here will just twist out. So this is going to be our refrigerant stuff. And then here's our drain line. Here's the drain line. You can go ahead and throw a zip tie on just to kind of hold this together. I'm going to start feeding this electrical line out the hole, and you can just stay here. And then me and Nomad Dad are gonna hang this bad boy. And here we go. We're gonna feed it with one hand, hold it with the other.
You do that with your right hand also, huh?
I'm ambidextrous. Okay, there we go. And here it is, indoor unit, Mr. Cool. Mounted up on the wall in place. So there's my refrigerant lines, my drain line, my electrical line. So we got to put down the line set cover and bring all this stuff down the front, and then we'll kick it over that way. And here's the line set, the back of the line set cover. Made a little custom 90-degree piece. So now we're going to connect the refrigerant lines to to the pieces that come out of the wall, run the lines down and over, and then the same thing with the drain. So we got it right here, both lines. There's two different lines. One's bigger than the other. They give you these nice color-coded caps. I think the fittings are probably different sizes as well, just so you don't make a mistake and connect the wrong one in the wrong place. But we got two sets of these. Here's the drain line. So what we're gonna do now is unroll the line to give us kind of a straight piece, and then we'll leave the extra just spooled up right there. So now we're just going to thread these connectors on. The manual says to start by hand. Thread it by hand, get it snug, and then finish it off with wrenches. I'll give you guys a little better close-up when I do the section that's down on the ground on the outdoor unit. That's just, it's pretty difficult to get a good camera shot up here, as you could imagine. So we have the refrigerant lines tightened down. I already put all the covering on one side just to figure out how it goes. Now I'm going to show you guys how it goes. So they give you this big piece of thick rubber. It's almost like something like a sound deadener you'd buy for a car. Anyway, so this guy wraps around that fitting that we just wrenched down. So it provides some, they call it an anti-vibration pad is what they call it. Then the next thing they give you is a secondary insulation piece, and this plastic is like a tape that just helps you kind of secure it in place. That's not even long enough. I need my longer zip ties. I have some here they gave me.
I think I have. I brought all mine, so.
Yeah, okay. Nomad Dad's got some longer ones if we need it. Let's see what this does. So we got this secured. Now we're gonna work it down and snap the cover on and then just keep moving.
Separate them right there. Well, no, that won't work.
Oops, there. So then we're adding this wrap that came with the Mr. Cool, some kind of like a UV wrap. So the next thing we're gonna do is hook up the high voltage to the mini split, the outdoor unit, to the inside. And I'm using some 12 gauge 3 conductor stranded marine wire from Anchor. It's a little overkill. I could have used 14, but I don't have any 14, so we use 12. When you pull off the cover to the box, you can see right across the top here you have L. That's your line voltage. N is your neutral. And then that's your ground. So we're just gonna, what I'm gonna do is crimp some fork terminals onto the ends of my 12-3. Little yellows for number 10 and 12. Just gonna put it on like this. And then we're gonna crimp it right here. Something like that. Okay. So I have the wire here with the 3 fork terminals on it. So we're gonna put the black fork in the line terminal, and then white goes in the N, and then green goes in the ground like this. So that's it for the high voltage input. The only other thing we'll need to put in this box before we close it up is the 4-wire communication. And this comes from this goes from the outdoor unit to the indoor unit. 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And then up here, we're going to loosen these terminals. 3, 2, 1. And 3 is black. Two is white. And then that leaves 1 as red. Right up in here. There it is. So now we're working on the outdoor unit, connecting the refrigerant lines. We got to take a couple screws off this bottom plate right here. And that gives us access to the valves. You notice they're color coded, white, white, blue, blue. This is definitely a lot easier to work on than the being up in the air on a ladder. And then we'll bring this down, get it started by hand. We got the copper fittings tightly secured down. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off these little caps on the end of the valves. And that will allow us to open up the valves inside and release the refrigerant. And they actually give you a little tool for that. And now we're going to just insert this and turn it to the left, and that will open up the refrigerant. And then you go ahead and just open it, turn it to the left as much as it'll go, just naturally. You don't want to force it. And that's it, that's wide open. Then we'll put the cap back on. Then on the bottom one, same process, turn it to the left. All the way. There we go. Put the cap back on. And here we are, all connected. Everything's still a mess, it needs to be sorted out, but it's connected. This is power in, this is power out to the indoor unit. So one thing it mentions in the manual, it wants you to spray soapy water onto the service valves and just see if any air bubbles form. And that would be an indicator that there would be some type of refrigerant leak. So I got some soapy water here. I don't really see anything. I don't see anything coming out. All right, let's hop in and see what happens. So, for this test, we're going to be using the Bluetti Apex 300, and I've just temporarily put an extension cord on end onto the edge of this until I get my full inverter installed. So we're just going to plug this right in, just like that. We're going to kick on AC power. There it goes. The unit's got power. So now we're going to take the remote, try to turn it on, cool, set it for 75 degrees, see what happens. Here we go. Unit just kicked on, 1185 watts, 1195, 1200 watts. It's running. Indoor unit's pretty quiet. Oh, that feels nice. Oh, air conditioning. Yes. It feels so good. It's so cold. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that feels good. We're cooling. I like the look of that unit. It tells you the temperature set point, 75 degrees. Let's go look at the outdoor unit. There's the outdoor unit spinning. Pretty quiet. There's not a lot of vibration. And here's a final look at the unit. Still need to cut the all thread off the bottom, trim it up. But we got the outdoor portion all buttoned up. Got the mini split line all secured to the frame. Got some zip ties in there just to kind of clean everything up. Got it all secured down. Everything's pretty tight. I am going to be building a heat shield that's going to go from the very front of the AC all the way back here, just to keep the heat from the exhaust and the muffler away from the copper lines and the unit itself. So heat shield, I'll do that in the next couple days, and then that'll be all set. And then additionally, I'm going to have skirting on the front, so you won't really see any of those extra lines down there. And then moving around, here's where the line set comes up. And then over here, up to the top, we got the cap on, little 90-degree cap, all sealed up and waterproofed. And I was able to put some sealant on the top of this part and cover in the end of our custom cut with some sealant as well. So it's looking pretty good. And the indoor unit is pretty much unchanged from the last time you saw it. Still powered off the Bluetti until I get my custom electrical installed. But there it is, indoor unit. So I'm pretty happy overall with the DIY mini split from Mr. Cool, purchased from shopsolarkits.com. Thanks for watching the video. It was a lot of work. This video was filmed over the course of 2 days, so it was still a good amount of labor. A lot of it was just building the rack for the outdoor unit, getting it secured. That was, a whole day's project. I also want to give a big thank you to my dad, Nomad Dad. It's been super nice being able to work with him throughout the summer up here in Arizona, spend some time together. work on some projects together. He's a doer and a builder and a handy guy, so we always enjoy doing projects, and it's nice to have this time together. So I want to say thank you to Nomad Dad for helping me out, and thanks to all you guys that are watching and supporting and commenting and liking. I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned over the next coming months. I'll be running the AC more regularly. I plan to move in this box truck, believe it or not, in about 3 weeks. It's not going to be finished, but it'll be livable. And so then I'll be able to kind of do a longer test with the air conditioner with my custom electrical, see how everything operates, see how the mini split runs with 2,000 watts of solar on the roof. So stay tuned for those update videos, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. That's Nomad Brad signing out. Peace. Yeah, just try to halfway it.
Okay.